Starseed from Gaia, you are being removed from everything you thought defined you, and this is not a punishment. It is a precision act of the highest order. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and I am delivering this transmission directly from the Arcturian Council for this exact moment in your activation. What you are feeling right now, the distance from your old world, the people, the roles, the version of yourself you performed for others, is not loss. It is liberation with a purpose you have not yet fully seen. The grid you were placed within was never yours. It was borrowed. It was built from the expectations of others, and you wore it long enough that you began to mistake it for your own skin. The Arcturian Council confirms. Temporary disconnection is required for identity clarity to emerge. When you are pulled away from the familiar, the noise fades, and in that silence, something older than this lifetime begins to surface. That is not confusion you are feeling. That is remembrance. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly why you were repositioned, what this phase is revealing about who you truly are, and how this shift aligns you with your actual cosmic blueprint. But here is the first revelation. You were never removed from your path. You were removed from the interference that was blocking your true identity from being seen, even by yourself. You did not find this transmission by accident. It moved into your awareness because something inside you is ready. Your soul has been signaling for this moment. The repositioning you are living through right now is not the ending of who you are. It is the beginning of who you have always been. This is not content. This is a code, and part of you already knows it. Like this transmission to signal to your star family, I am ready. Subscribe if your mission is activating and you are stepping into true alignment. Comment 9999 if you feel your remembrance returning. Declare what you are releasing in the grid that no longer holds you, and reply to another soul doing the same. Because your signal amplifies theirs, and theirs amplifies yours. This is not just a message. It is a point of reconnection. Your soul has been waiting for this. You are not here by accident. There is a moment, and if you are watching this, you have likely already lived it, where everything familiar is stripped away. The relationships you built, the identity you wore, the version of yourself that fit neatly into the world others designed. And in that hollow, aching silence that follows, you ask the only question that ever truly matters. Who am I when there is nothing left to be? Most people call that moment loss. The Arcturian records call it initiation. What if the dissolution you experienced was not a punishment, but a precision? What if the circumstances that collapsed around you were never meant to hold you, never truly capable of containing the vastness of your emergent spirit? What if the life that fell apart was simply the outer shell of a being who had finally outgrown it, much like a butterfly sheds its chrysalis, or a serpent its old skin, and the universe, in its infinite intelligence and boundless compassion, had no choice but to, break it open, to dismantle the constricting walls, so that the true, expanded form could finally emerge. Consider that the very fabric of your reality was being lovingly, yet forcefully, rearranged, because the container you inhabited had become a cage, no longer a cradle. The universe, in its meticulous design, does not make errors. It orchestrates awakenings. This is what no one tells the starseed who is grieving. They tell you to heal, to mend the broken pieces, as if your journey were a porcelain doll shattered on the floor. They tell you to move on, to leave the past behind, without recognizing that the past, in this context, was merely a costume, a role, not the essence of who you are. They tell you to rebuild what you lost, to painstakingly reconstruct the very structures that had proven inadequate for your evolving frequency. But the transmission that is coming through today carries a different message entirely, one whispered from the star fields of remembrance. You were not meant to rebuild what was. You were meant to remember what is, what has always been, eternally radiant and perfectly whole. living beneath the surface of every identity you have ever tried to wear on this planet, beneath every mask you donned for acceptance, every role you played for belonging. Your soul's blueprint was always there, immutable and luminous. Your disconnection is not a flaw in your journey. It is the most sacred feature of it, the crucial turning point, the divine disruption that heralds your true alignment. It is the universe clearing the stage for the performance of your authentic self. Here is what is actually happening when everything is taken from you. Your energy field, which has been shaped, compressed, filtered, and dimmed like a brilliant light behind layers of gauze, by the expectations of people who could not see your full spectrum, by environments that were too small for your expansive nature, and by timelines that were never fully aligned with your destined frequency, finally has room to breathe. Imagine a vast, vibrant aura that was once cinched tight, now allowed to unfurl and expand, drawing in the cosmic breath it has long craved. The noise recedes, the cacophony of external opinions, societal pressures, and ingrained self-doubt. The performance ends, the exhausting act of trying to fit into molds that were never your own. And what is left, standing in the profound, sometimes terrifying silence of a life that no longer looks recognizable, is something ancient, something luminous, something that does not need a role to justify its presence, does not require external validation to simply be. It is the echo of your galactic origins, the whisper of your eternal consciousness. That is your higher self. And it has been waiting for exactly this moment, this sacred dismantling, to finally step forward and guide you home. For starseeds, those magnificent souls who carry galactic lineage and cosmic codes into human form, often feeling like strangers in a strange land, the process of awakening is rarely gentle. It is rarely a slow, graceful unfoldment that happens over tea and journal entries, a placid awakening like dawn breaking. More often, it arrives as rupture, as removal, as the sudden and disorienting experience of being placed outside the life you thought was yours. Standing on an unfamiliar shore, watching your previous world recede into the mist. You find yourself observing it from a distance, perhaps even from an entirely new energetic vantage point, and realizing with equal parts terror at the unknown and profound relief at your liberation, that it never fully was yours. It was a temporary dwelling, a learning ground, a vessel that served its purpose, and now must be shed. The separation you have lived through was not arbitrary. It was not a cosmic accident, nor an oversight of divine design. The people who left your orbit, the structures that crumbled around you, the chapters that closed without warning or explanation, often leaving you reeling in confusion and pain. These were not failures of your ability to hold things together, not a testament to your unworthiness. They were frequency corrections. They were the universe doing what it does with extraordinary precision, like a master tuner adjusting an instrument, clearing the vibrational field of a soul whose signal had become too strong, too pure, too expansive to stay compressed inside a life built for a lesser, more limited version of itself. It was the universe honoring your true frequency, even when your human self was still trying to cling to the dissonance. You were not abandoned. You were extracted. You were carefully, lovingly, and definitively lifted from environments that could no longer support your growth, pulled from the magnetic pull of frequencies that were actively suppressing your authentic light. And the tragedy is not that it happened, for in truth, it was an act of grace. The tragedy is that so many starseeds spend years, sometimes decades, traversing labyrinthine paths of self-doubt and spiritual frustration, trying to reconstruct the very containers the universe deliberately dissolved. They exhaust themselves trying to return to the relationships that had run their course, to the communities that had closed their energetic doors, to the identities that stopped fitting like ill-suited garments. They do this not because those things were truly right for them, not because they brought genuine fulfillment, but because they were known. And the unknown, even when it is luminous beyond measure, even when it is calling your name in a frequency only your soul can recognize, a melody of profound homecoming, is terrifying when you do not yet know what you are, when the ego clings desperately to the familiar shore. This is the core distortion that keeps starseeds in cycles of confusion and contraction, in an energetic holding pattern that delays their full activation. It is not that they lack purpose. It is that they have not yet trusted the inherent intelligence of their own unfolding, the cosmic wisdom embedded in their very being. They are looking at the rubble of a dismantled life and calling it ruin, a tragic ending, a testament to failure, when the Arcturian field of consciousness has always known it as groundwork. Not the ending of something significant, but the vital, necessary making of space for something infinitely more aligned, something that could never have arrived while the old, restrictive structures were still standing, occupying the sacred space of your potential. Some transmissions do not come through words, but through frequency. If something stirred within you just now, a deep resonance, a flicker of recognition in the depths of your being, you may be ready to receive the hidden Arcturian keys of awakening. This short yet powerful ebook carries ancient Arcturian techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. The link is in the first pinned comment, but only for a limited time. And now, let us walk through what this process actually looks like. Not as a linear healing arc, where you slowly mend what was broken, but as a series of profound energetic initiations. Because that is what separation truly is. Not a wound to recover from, something to be patched up and forgotten. It is a sacred doorway to pass through, a rite of passage into a deeper, truer version of yourself. And each phase carries its own unique transmission, its own cosmic lesson, its own opportunity for radical self-discovery. Phase 1. The field clears. Before it fills. Before new frequencies can occupy your energy body, before your true light can shine unimpeded, the old ones must be meticulously released. This is the phase that often feels like profound emptiness, like an inner void, a disorienting loss of direction where the compass of your life seems to spin aimlessly. It can feel like waking up in a foreign land and not recognizing the person looking back at you in the mirror, as if your very essence has shifted. It is deeply disorienting, triggering deep-seated fears of being lost, alone, or unanchored, and it is absolutely necessary. What is happening beneath the surface, unseen by the conscious mind but profoundly understood by your soul, is a meticulous clearing. The vibrational residue of relationships, environments, and roles that were misaligned with your true, authentic frequency is leaving your field, gently at first, then sometimes in torrents of emotional release. You are not falling apart. You are being defragmented, meticulously optimized, like a cosmic hard drive being wiped clean of old, corrupt files. Every starseed who has ever stepped into their actual soul-aligned mission has passed through this uncomfortable, yet sacred blankness. Do not rush it. Do not fear the spaciousness. Do not fill it prematurely with noise, with distractions, with attempts to recreate what was. The clearing is doing something your strategies, your plans, and your human timelines cannot. It is making sacred room for a signal so true, so distinct, so undeniably yours, a pure resonance from your soul's core, that when it finally arrives and becomes legible, you will not need anyone else to confirm it. You will simply know. Phase 2. Separation becomes revelation. There is a profound reason the ancient traditions that understood multidimensional consciousness so often spoke of the vision quest, the deliberate withdrawal from the familiar, the intentional journey into solitude and the wilderness, precisely to discover what remains when familiarity, external supports, and accustomed comforts are removed. Your separation, whether it arrived as profound loss, unexpected exile, debilitating illness, or a simple, irreversible collapse of your external world, served this same timeless function. When you are no longer performing for a specific relationship, no longer contorting yourself to fit into the expectations of a specific community, no longer filtered through someone else's preconceived notions of who you should be, what emerges is not nothingness. What emerges, like a pristine spring from arid ground, is pure signal. Pure, unmediated, soul-level frequency. The version of you that exists when no one is watching, when no role is required, when you are standing in the uncomfortable, open, and utterly undefined space of a life whose contours are yet to be formed. That is the most honest, unadulterated version of you that has ever breathed on this planet. Separation is not the opposite of connection. It is a profound precondition for real, authentic, soul-level connection. Connection rooted not in need, dependency, or performance, but in deep, resonant, vibrational alignment. It is the necessary solitude that prepares you for true communion. Phase 3. Your DNA begins to speak. When the persistent noise of misaligned environments finally leaves your field, when the energetic static dissipates, something extraordinary and deeply profound begins to happen in the subtler layers of your consciousness, within the very blueprint of your being. Memories that do not belong to this specific lifetime, fragments of galactic history, echoes of ancient wisdom, begin to surface into your awareness. Knowings that were never taught to you through conventional means, insights beyond any earthly curriculum, arrive as an undeniable certainty, an intrinsic understanding that bypasses logic and simply is. An orientation that has nothing to do with your Earth biography, your upbringing, or your societal conditioning begins to subtly yet powerfully direct your attention, drawing you towards pathways and purposes that feel deeply resonant, even if initially inexplicable. This is not imagination run wild, nor fanciful thinking. This is galactic intelligence, the vast cosmic database encoded within your very DNA, activating and coming online in the absence of the suppressive frequencies that once kept those codes dormant. The Arcturian understanding of DNA has always held that your biological blueprint carries instructions far beyond the purely physical, that woven into the very structure of your being are maps, missions, and cherished memories from countless lifetimes of service across multiple dimensions, across star systems and cosmic eras. Separation loosens the grip of the lower, denser frequencies that kept those precious codes dormant, like breaking a spell. And in the profound quiet that follows dissolution, you begin to hear what has always been written inside you, the sacred script of your soul's journey, finally legible. Phase 4. The authentic energy becomes undeniable. Here is the shift that changes everything. The turning point where the inner work truly begins to manifest outwardly. After the meticulous clearing of old energies, after the revelation of your unadulterated self, after the activation of deeper multidimensional memories within your DNA, you begin to feel something you may not have words for yet, a subtle but persistent hum in your being, a profound coherence, a distinct energetic signature, an energetic tone that is distinctly, irreducibly yours, like a unique cosmic fingerprint, not yours as in belonging to your fleeting personality or your earthly history, but yours as in sourced directly from your soul's original pristine frequency, its divine emanation. This is what the Arcturian field refers to as your authentic emission. And it only becomes truly visible, both to yourself and eventually to others who are attuned, when it is no longer diluted, dampened, or distorted by the frequencies of environments that were not built for it, that actively work to suppress it. This is why some of the most powerful starseeds you will ever encounter, those who exude an undeniable presence and clarity, have been through the most profound dismantlings, the most challenging purifications. Not because suffering is inherently required for depth or spiritual growth, but because they were willing to stand in the unfamiliar, in the empty space, in the quiet discomfort, long enough for their true signal to become unmistakable, for their unique light to shine through without interference. Your authentic energy is not something you have to painstakingly build, like a new skill. It is something you have to uncover, to excavate from beneath layers of conditioning and false identities. And separation, this cosmic undoing, is the most efficient, precise, and powerful excavation tool the universe has ever given you. Phase 5. you stop trying to return. This is the phase where the deep-seated resistance begins to dissolve, where the internal struggle against your new reality finally ceases its weary battle, where you stop looking back with longing at what was taken, at the comfort of the known, and instead, you begin to truly listen, to truly perceive what is emerging, what is painstakingly taking shape in the new energetic landscape around you, where the grief of the dismantling, which was undeniably real, profound, and which absolutely deserved to be felt fully, honored in its entirety, begins its sacred alchemical process, transmuting into something far more expansive, something akin to acceptance and even profound gratitude. It morphs into a quiet curiosity about the unfolding path. It becomes a resonant recognition of deeper truths. It fosters a quiet but unshakable sense that the version of you standing in this unfamiliar territory, stripped of its old roles and attachments, is more real, more authentic, more aligned than any version that ever inhabited the comfortable but constricting containers you left behind. This is not toxic positivity, glossing over genuine pain. This is not spiritual bypassing, avoiding emotional processing. This is the natural, organic result of having stayed present through the profound discomfort. Having consciously chosen to witness the process, long enough to arrive at the undeniable truth on the other side of it. You stop trying to return not because you are running forward in avoidance, fleeing from pain or regret, but because you have finally met yourself, truly, intimately, in the crucible of your transformation. And going back would mean abandoning the most honest, most essential encounter you have ever had with your own soul. Phase 6. The mission becomes legible. When your authentic frequency stabilizes, when it becomes a consistent, unwavering emanation, when the energetic field clears of old static, the dormant codes within your DNA activate fully, and your true signal begins to emit without interference. Your mission stops feeling like a daunting question you are perpetually trying to answer, a riddle to solve through endless searching. Instead, it starts feeling like a profound knowing you are simply learning to trust, an undeniable inner compass that points true north. This is not a grand announcement, heralded by celestial trumpets or dramatic external signs. It rarely arrives with fanfare or sudden epiphanies that shake the foundations of your world. More often, it arrives as a quiet clarity in a serene moment of introspection. It manifests as a direction that feels inherently obvious, a pathway that aligns so perfectly with your deepest resonance that logic cannot fully explain or question it. It is the unmistakable sense that you are no longer searching for your purpose, striving to find it. You are, with every breath, every choice, every step, inhabiting it. The mission was never truly hidden from you, cloaked in mystery. It was waiting patiently, like a seed underground, for the precise frequency conditions that would allow it to become visible, to sprout into undeniable reality. And those frequency conditions required exactly the kind of stripping away, exactly the kind of profound unbecoming, exactly the kind of sacred dissolution that brought you to this moment right now. Reading these words, sensing their truth. Phase 7. You become the transmission. The final phase of this profound initiation is not a destination you arrive at and then rest. It is an ongoing orientation, a continuous state of being, a lived reality. It is the deep, cellular understanding that you do not simply carry the message of your awakening as if it were an external scroll. You are the message. Your very presence, your resonant energy, your unique way of moving through the world when you are fully aligned with your authentic frequency. This is itself a potent, undeniable transmission. You do not need to perform it for others, to articulate it perfectly, or to prove its validity. You do not need to explain it to those who operate on different frequencies. You do not even need everyone to understand it. The Arcturian field of consciousness has always taught that the most powerful activations, the most profound shifts in consciousness, do not travel through argument, through logical information, or through persuasive rhetoric. They travel through pure, unadulterated resonance. and a soul that has been through the refining fire of separation, that has stood courageously in the discomfort of unfamiliarity long enough to find and stabilize their true signal, their unique cosmic frequency. That soul emits a vibration, a frequency, a signature light that reaches and activates other starseeds before a single word is ever spoken. You did not survive the dissolution to painstakingly rebuild what was. You survived it, you thrived through it, to become what you always were. Finally, undeniably, cosmically clear, a pure channel for your divine essence. Here is the transmission the Arcturian field has been building toward in everything you have heard today. And it requires that you receive it not just with your mind, with its logical deductions and analytical constructs, but with the deepest, most knowing part of you, the part that already recognizes it as absolute truth, vibrating within your core. You did not lose yourself in the separation. You found yourself there. Every relationship that ended before you were ready, before you felt complete. Every community that stopped holding sacred space for the version of you that was courageously emerging. Every chapter that closed without warning or explanation when you were still in the middle of what you thought was your linear story. None of it was failure. None of it was evidence that you are too much, or not enough, or somehow fundamentally unfit for the expansive life you were truly meant to live. Every single dismantling, every single stripping away, was an act of cosmic precision. A recalibration so exact, so deliberately timed to the frequency upgrades your soul contracted to carry in this lifetime, to the specific energetic activations you agreed to undergo, that to call it accident or misfortune would be to misread the most carefully encoded, most lovingly delivered message you have ever received from the cosmos. It was divine orchestration. Your higher self did not abandon you in those moments of dissolution, those times of profound disorientation and perceived loss. On the contrary, your higher self was precisely what remained after everything else fell away, after all external anchors were removed. That quiet knowing deep within, that strange, groundless peace that often arrived mysteriously alongside the overwhelming grief, that persistent and inexplicable sense that something profoundly important was happening, even when everything visible to your human eyes suggested utter catastrophe, chaos, and ruin. That was not delusion, not wishful thinking. That was your galactic intelligence, your soul's immutable wisdom, registering a higher truth that your human mind had not yet caught up to, a divine plan unfolding beyond linear comprehension. Your higher self was your steadfast lighthouse in the storm. You chose this, not in the naive, simplistic way that collapses real pain and suffering into a glib spiritual cliché, but in the deepest, most sovereign, most courageous way a soul chooses its optimal conditions for exponential expansion and accelerated growth. You came into this lifetime with a frequency, a vibrational signature that was always too large, too potent, too expansive for the limited containers the Earth narrative and societal conditioning had prepared for you. And some part of you, your omniscient soul, knew that the only way to fully activate that frequency, to allow its full, unadulterated expression, was to be purposefully moved out of everything familiar, to be placed squarely in the open, in the raw, undefinable space of true authenticity, to be required, by the very circumstances of your life, to discover what you are truly made of, to experience your unbreakable essence, when what you are made of is the only thing left standing, the sole foundation beneath your feet. The periods of separation were not crises to be merely recovered from, like an illness to be cured. They were profound initiations to be integrated, sacred rites of passage into higher consciousness. And the profound integration is this: you are not behind schedule. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not the walking wounded of a spiritual journey gone wrong or a path derailed. You are a magnificent consciousness that agreed to briefly forget its true nature, and then, with immense courage, to embark on the journey of remembering. And the remembering is not complete until you understand, deep within your bones, that every single moment of forgetting, every challenge, every perceived loss, serve the remembering with extraordinary, loving precision, guiding you back to your inherent wholeness. The life that is forming on the other side of your dissolution, the new reality taking shape around you, is not a lesser version of what was taken, a compromise, or a mere substitute. It is a more honest, more authentic, more resonant version of what was always cosmically possible for you, built not on the shifting sands of who others needed you to be, but on the unshakable, eternal ground of who you actually are, in your unadulterated divine essence. And that sacred ground was only ever revealed, only ever solidified, through the profound experience of standing bravely in the unfamiliar, stripped bare of the masks and roles, with nothing left to perform and no one left to perform for, utterly free to simply be. This is the hidden gift, the profound revelation, inside every starseed story of separation. Not that the pain was not real, for it was, but that the pain was always pointing, with absolute fidelity, with unwavering precision, toward the frequency that needed to be freed, the authentic self that was yearning to emerge. Tonight, if you are willing, speak this aloud before you sleep, not as a request to the universe, but as a profound remembrance to yourself, a sacred declaration of your sovereignty. I release the need to return to what was taken. I trust the intelligence of my unfolding. I am not lost in the unfamiliar. I am arriving in it. I am my own signal. I am my own home. I remember. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what is forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real. Then respond to someone else's with encouragement or energy. This is not content. It is collective alignment. Energy multiplies when intention connects. If something in this message resonated, do not keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation. Share it, and if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow. You are not just watching, you are expanding. This is your space, and we are just getting started. And if your heart is calling for guidance on divine love and sacred union, I also bring transmissions on Arcturian heart wisdom, where we explore the twin flame journey, heart healing, and attracting your divine counterpart. You'll find the link in the description.